Minister, there is a serious disconnect between this government and the average citizen in this country at the moment. The cost of living crisis is consuming most families currently. We have a situation where there are 650,000 people in poverty in this state. 280,000 people are in arrears on electricity bills currently. 165,000 people are in arrears on their gas bills at the moment. People are losing sleep at night wondering what bill they're going to be able to pay the next day. People are living from overdraft to overdraft if they're lucky enough to be able to get an overdraft. Many of them are being pushed into the hands of moneylenders. And yet we have ministers on significantly high wages making decisions as punitive as this. There is a serious disconnect between the people that you're meant to serve and the people who are so-called in the public service here tonight. Now, I put in a parliamentary question just about a month ago in relation to this, and I found out that this government is making more on taxation on fuel than it ever did before. So in the last year, this government is quids in on tax on fuel in the jaws of a cost of living crisis. Now, I listen to the government speaking in measured tones in sympathy with people who are suffering, and at the same time the government is pilfering the pockets of those people in more taxes than they ever did before. And in actual fact, last year, the money that was taken in, the increase in the taxes on fuel, exceeded the amount of money that was given back in the electricity credits. An incredible thing. So the government actually took more from people than it gave back and expected to be thanked on the back of that. Just in the last number of months, we've seen excise increase in June, we've seen tolls increase in July, excise increase again in September, and now we're seeing carbon taxes increase today. How is this a government in touch with the cost of living crisis that's hurting people so many times? And in terms of electricity, this government of yours has an objective to get more people into electric cars, but I tell you, we have the most expensive electricity in the whole of Europe now. So in actual fact, even changing into electric cars is becoming increasingly difficult. The problem I have is that there's no alternative for so many people. There's no Lewis from Athboy, there's no Dart from Trim, there's no even rail line from Navan, the 5th biggest town in the country at the moment. And if you're trying to get a bus from Meath into Dublin, on a regular basis, those bus services are being dropped. People are being left in their dozens at bus stops, with no bus to take them to Dublin because the service has been dropped and they're being put late for work all the time. So for regional and rural Ireland, this is a punitive tax. It's not a behaviour-changing tax. It is a tax that penalises people because of where they live. Just in the last number of months, we've seen petrol and diesel go back up, and in the last couple of days, there's been a surge in oil prices. This tax is not fair. It's not behaviour changing, it's only hurting families, and I ask the government to listen to the people you're meant to serve and not to proceed with this increase in carbon tax.